If I could ask everyone to please take their seats, we'll begin the program. Thank you all very much. Welcome to TNI Bladensburg, East Riverdale. My name is David Iannucci. I am on the county executive staff. I have a long title that has to do with economic development. But for the last 3+ years, I've had the privilege and honor of heading the TNI Bladensburg, East Riverdale team, which meets in this room here every other month. And so if I could ask my TNI team members to stand up, these are the folks who kind of have brought to life the county executive's vision. Thank you all very much.
You didn't hurt your hand with TNI, did you?
TNI is really a partnership, and that's what we're going to be talking about today with Aetna and their role here in GapBusters. But TNI, again, is one of the county executive's signature initiatives. We are one of the 6 TNI areas that were selected on a number of factors, economic and crime and education and health, and have got concentrated efforts. We're going to be joined in this partnership today by Aetna, which is one of the leading health insurance companies in the United States. 50,000 employees and 23 million members. We just got that down, so that's pretty impressive. And then GapBusters, and you're going to hear all about GapBusters. Dr. Butler is one of our most active nonprofit members of our TNI area, and we thank you very much. And so when Aetna approached us, it was an easy choice. The TNI effort is more than 3 years old, and in the Bladensburg, East Riverdale, we've got a number of accomplishments, and I just want to briefly mention some of them so you know what they are. I think our signature event was what we call Taste of TNI, or Restaurant Week, and when we really put Bladensburg High School on the map and their Culinary Institute and had a number of restaurants. And Jeffrey Swilley from EDC, you were the champion of it, so thank you very much. And that was, we got a lot of attention. We also, one of our biggest successes, if you, this might sound surprising, are fences. We had a number of elementary schools and middle school that had some security challenges because of people cutting through inappropriately, and we had to fight through all the bureaucracies and so forth, but we succeeded after about 2 years in getting fences built that helped improve security for the young folks that attend those schools. And we had sidewalks. There's a sidewalk that's under construction right now on Edmiston Road, long walk needed by the community. And lights, and in one case a tragedy is going to have to spark some effort with the SHA, but some traffic lights for pedestrian safety, and that's one of our accomplishments. A community cleanup. We've had a major effort to help in the neighborhoods and the streets and so forth, and removing mattresses is one of our big challenges in our area. And then we demolished some houses that had been the victims of arson, but had been there for too long, eyesores in the community. TNI helped them get them down, because one of the things that your TNI effort does, it brings together people from different backgrounds, different agencies, different disciplines, and we have them in the same room. So it's really a partnership theme, which is a Rushern Baker point of his administration. So it allowed us to have the right people in the room to fix some problems that have been out there for a while. And then crime, and I know you're going to make some comments about crime, but so I don't want to steal the county executive thunder, but we lead all TNI areas in crime reduction. And I didn't say that. So again, the most important thing I think about TNI is bringing together people for partnerships, and I really thank my TNI members for that, and I thank the county executive for his leadership. Which brings us to this event. This event is about partnerships as well. Aetna came to the county executive, and through Kerry Watson, and Kerry, where are you? Kerry Watson, my good friend, county executive's former liaison, and he and I bonded over the Washington Nationals. And without kidding, that's probably one of the reasons we're here, focusing on TNI Bladensburg Riverdale. So go Nats, and thank you, Kerry. And we sat down with Aetna and Kerry and Tanya and said, okay, what can we do collectively to make this community better? And this partnership, what you're about to hear about, is a result of those conversations. So I really want to thank all of you here. It's now my pleasure to introduce Tanya Hall, who's the Regional Director for Community Relations for Aetna, and she's going to tell you about their role and their vision and what they want to help us accomplish. So thank you very much.
So of course I had my prepared remarks, and just sitting in this room brings so much great energy to the work that we all know that's being done by the county executive's office, by the T&I team, and obviously by the work that so many great nonprofits like GapBusters are doing. So I want to congratulate all of you, not for just doing the work that you're doing, but for coming out to support work that's being done to improve Prince George's County. So that's all great and makes me a little emotional when I see people that come out, because we can do this a lot, but people don't always get it. So it's good to know that people are getting it, and glad for Aetna to be a part. So good morning, I'm Tanya Hall. My colleagues and myself are all here. We're really glad to be here representing the Aetna Foundation at today's presentation. At Aetna, we are a big company, 50,000 people, all across the world, but we really like to say that at Aetna, everything begins with our value structure. When I went through orientation a couple years ago, they said everything you do at Aetna has to start with the Aetna value wheel. And they pull out this wheel with all these colors, and they tell you, every time you do a presentation, you got to start with the Aetna value wheel. Well, I wasn't going to bring the wheel, okay? So just indulge me for a moment. Integrity is one of our values, which really means doing the right thing for the right reason. Excellence, striving to deliver the highest quality and value possible through simple, easy, and relevant solutions. Which you might be thinking, okay, we're a healthcare company, you might be thinking about healthcare plans. I'm in community relations. So when I think about easy and relevant solutions and how we can invest in community, I'm looking for relevant solutions like GapBusters. Because we don't have to go in and recreate, we can go in with partnerships and find people and organizations that are doing great work. Caring is one of the values that we have. We want to listen and respect not just our stakeholders and our members, but our coworkers, so that we can hear what people are being concerned about and we can respond appropriately. And we also, our fourth value is inspiration. We do this by inspiring each other to explore ideas that can make the world a better place. And you might say, well, that sounds great. You're Aetna. How does that actually work? Well, this is actually how it works. At the center of our value wheel, just picture it, our value wheel. At the center of those four areas, it's the people that we serve in the center. And so we look at every person that could be potentially touched by Aetna, not just our members, but people in communities that we can invest in, that we can serve, and that we can care about as part of a way that we actually express our brand. So our values are also evident in the mission of the Aetna Foundation, which is to promote wellness, health, and access to high-quality healthcare for everyone while supporting the communities that we serve. Our chairman and CEO, and I'm stumbling over his title because he just made a major announcement this week that I can't share yet, I guess, but he's chairman and CEO, Mark Bertolini, usually uses some words that can inspire us in going out to do that work, doing the work that we're doing. And one of the goals that he has been sharing with us, the 50,000 employees, is that Aetna's goal is to create a healthier world, one community at a time. And that's really what we're here for today. We want to change the world, but we have to do it one community at a time. We all know that if we want to make a change, it takes, they say, what's the biggest elephant? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So for us, it's really being able to create those healthier communities. So that's why we're here today. We talked a little bit about partnership, and for us, an ideal partnership is really based on the ability to have our employees engaged in programs on the local market, programs that really enable us to have some community visibility, allow us to be involved in advocacy. Sponsorship clearly is something that we believe in. Capacity building, which is part of what I think the funds that we're talking about today are doing for GapBusters, and then the philanthropic support that we provide through the Aetna Foundation. So, being able to have that type of integrated partnership model is something that we really believe in Aetna. We sat down probably, David, was it over a year ago? We're in December, right? Yeah, so I think it was over a year ago when we sat down, and I tell people every day, Aetna is not a one-date company. We're just not. If you think you're going to sit down and you're going to say to us, oh, look at all this great work that we're doing, write us a check, it's never going to happen. We are just not that company. We have to get to know you, you have to get to know us, so we can find the type of partnership that's going to work. But once we're in, we're in. So how many of you have dated before? Young people, don't raise your hands. Nobody wants it to be a one date, right? You want You want it to last. And that's really the model that we have, and that's why we believe that it works so well. So we're investing because we believe not only in Prince George's County and the Transforming Neighborhoods Initiative, but the work that Dr. Butler and her team are doing here at GapBuster. So I had the chance to visit Dr. Butler this past summer. Myself and another one of my colleagues came out, and we thought we'd be here for about a half hour, maybe an hour. I think we spent, I don't know, 2 at least, interacting with the students, interacting with the parents that were dropping off their students, picking up their students, interacting with some of the staff members who have been part of the programs, and I can tell you we left very full. We left very, very full and convinced that this was a great place to make an investment. So the goals that GapBuster has created around healthy activity, healthy eating, and a healthy education made the Building Scholars for the Future a perfect investment opportunity for us. At Aetna, we're looking to impact each program participant's attitudes and behaviors. Attitudes and behaviors, there's gonna be a test at the end. Attitudes and behaviors around health and wellness for themselves, for their families, and for their community. So it isn't just about the one person that comes in these doors that is being a part of the program. It's about the people that they go back to in their homes and in their communities. And this is actually a perfect environment for that. So Building the Scholars program not only addresses the current needs of the community, but one of the things that I was really impressed with was the way that it addresses a future economic promise through its educational STEM goals. And as we all know, we read the papers, we watch the news, we know that the STEM education components are so vital, especially in communities like this. So to know that this is a program that has thought about that, obviously we love the fact that they're learning how to eat well and that they're doing their exercises on their bikes, but knowing that they're focusing on education as a goal is really, really valuable and important for us. So I just want to give a special thank you to Prince George's County Executive Rashawn Baker, David Iannucci, and Terrence, because you helped us at the very beginning, and you handed out our calendars at one of the public meetings, right? Really for an opportunity to participate in this very meaningful work. So thank you so much for the opportunity. We're glad to be here. And at this time, I have the pleasure to bring up our very own Dr. Butler.
Oh, no, please don't stand for me. But thank you, guys. Now, you know, I says, you don't want prepared comments. I prepared a whole speech. So I'm going to have to go from my heart because that's what I do best. But first of all, I want to welcome everyone to the Center for Educational Partnership. And I want to thank Aetna so much for coming and finding us. And Dave, Terrence, thank you for recommending us for this because this is amazing. It's going to do a lot for us. We couldn't do this alone. So on behalf of the Center for Educational Partnership, and we have multiple partners here, I want to thank all of our partners. And can some of our partners please stand up, because we would not be able to do this without Engage University, our FNEP, where's FNEP for me? We wouldn't have been able to do it, this is out, the clubhouse, where's our clubhouse? Community Forklift, Protease, and I'm trying to see if MNYC are they here, MNYC? Well, they're not here right now, but we could not have done this and have a program so amazing for our students if it wasn't for our community partners. So I'll tell you about GapBuster and the reason why I'm here today. GapBuster started in 1999, and we were really focusing on academic enrichment, and we wanted to close the academic achievement gap of minorities and non-minorities. And one of the things that over the years we started seeing is that our populations, not only economically and academically delayed or behind, there's a gap, but also health-wise. The disparities health-wise are very vast within the minority population. And so when this opportunity came around, one of the things we started thinking about, and we've been putting this into place, is looking at how all of this ties in. How does health tie in with education? How does health tie in with your economics? And how can we have a better, healthy community? One of the things that has occurred here in this area, and many of you might know, is that in the Washington, D.C. area, we have the heaviest, so that means the fattest, kids in the nation. And so when we saw that, And we had the opportunity to reopen the bike shop, and Noe will tell you a little bit about reopen the bike shop. We found the opportunity to reopen the bike shop that we've had here since 2006. We thought about how we can tie that in with good nutrition, as well as exercise, and then also the STEM component. And so what the students are able to do with the bike shop, they learn angular momentum, they learn how energy is produced by riding a bike, and one of the things that FNET brought to us is nutrition piece. So they not only work with our students and teach them nutrition and science, they also work with the parents to make sure when they leave this building, they then thereby can go home and do the same things and bring the nutrition into their homes and hopefully spread it into their communities. So I want to just say a little bit more about our mission. Our mission of GapBuster, and I have to read this always because it changes. It changes as we evolve, and so we've evolved over the years. But we believe that through supplemental education, enrichment programs, and leadership development, what we do for our youth here and now for our parents, GapBuster develops well-rounded individuals positioned to excel academically, socially, and in professional environments. And so we actually work and strive. We do multiple different programs to ensure that happens. Oh, and I forgot to also, I want to acknowledge our students who are here today. These are our STEM students who are with the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math program and part of the NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers. And they are also part of our bike team. So we actually, and they have some things that would show you as we walk around, and they brought, and two of our young men brought their bikes in because the bike shop is what brings students in this building. They don't come for academics. As we're working with middle and high school, they're like, they don't want academics. The bike shop has brought them here. And then once we get them, we engage them. We keep them. We make them family. Because every one of these young people that you see today, they're now part of what we call the GapBuster family. And so we get them in and we want to keep them. So I just wanted to say a few more little things, and because I want to keep my comments brief because I want to hear from the county executive, and I want to thank you for coming to our building again. Now you see I brought a book, right? So I'm not going to read all this, but I did bring a book to tell you a little bit about why we're really glad and Aetna supported us. And one of the things I was going to say that when Tanya and her colleague came this summer, it was interesting because I think it was unplanned, right? Because I think they just showed up, and so because I think they shouldn't. Yeah, it was very short notice. In the summer program, we had over 115 kids running through this building, and so with that, it was like, oh my God. I said, oh, we have guests here. And so, you can't do anything when guests come. You always want to clean your house. We didn't have time to do nothing. So they saw the real deal in the raw kids in their native environments. And so it was very interesting because I kept thinking, oh my God, kids, act good. Don't do anything that will be, that I'll say, please forgive my kids for. But it was very interesting because the kids are wonderful. They were amazing. And like we said, we thought it was going to be, they said we won't be more than half an hour of your time. Once we sat down and we start going through what was here at the building, and she saw all the partners in this building, all the work that they were doing, all the students engaging, and met some of our staff, it was very hard for them to leave. And then when we took them out to the community gardens, that was what really, really just grabbed everybody, because we have some amazing gardens here, and we showed how the community gardens, the students go out, and I believe that day you came, they were doing a cooking class. And what they do, our kids not only plant the seeds, clean up the gardens, but they harvest the vegetables, fruit and vegetables from the garden, and they cook with those things that they harvest. And then, of course, after that, they have this wonderful meal. Then they go out and they try to, we try to get them to ride bikes. And so this summer we had bike riding and we had dancing, because after eating, because it was healthy eating, but they always wanted more. And so it was really exciting just to have them come and look at our program and see our kids in action. And it was interesting because when they left here, it was funny because we're like, now we want to help you with Voices of Health. And so they saw how we integrated all the different programs and components to make a more healthy individual and healthy environment. So I want to also, because I guess I can say it today, because we got the email last night. We actually were part of, as you know, a campaign for Voice to Health, and that was showing how we integrated our academic programs with nutrition and physical education. And we actually won second place, and so we'll be getting an additional $20,000 from Aetna. I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. And we just got the email literally yesterday, so we could announce it. So we were really excited about that. So Aetna has been, oh yeah, don't put it in the paper yet. Aetna has been an unbelievable partner for us. This is our first major partner like this, and I'm glad we've started this relationship. And I don't want to date. I want to have a long-term courting and maybe one marriage. So I want to thank you all for being here again, and I want to thank our community partners again. And so I won't take much more time because I want you to hear from some of our students. And we had one of our students who is going to speak. We're going to bring two of them up. I want to bring Noe Flores and Florentine Gomez.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? My name is Noe Flores. I'm a senior at Parkdale High School.
And I'm Florentine Gomez. I'm also senior in Parkdale High School. I'm a senior counselor in training, and I'm also assistant bike manager.
So, back in 2006, when the bike shop was open, I was here as a student. Being here, I obtained many leadership skills and teamwork skills, and it also helped me keep me out of trouble. Being here, I heard the bike shop was going to get closed down, so I got very upset. A couple years later, I came back in, and then with intentions to open the bike shop, which we did, it just is a dream come true. So I'm gonna go and stop a little bit more.
So, I was also a student here as a bike program, but when it got shut down, you know, me, as Noe said, I was upset also. So I came back to help Noe reopen the bike shop, and I intend to help the students obtain the same skills that I got when I was a student also, which was teamwork, leadership skills, you know, etc. And now we hope to accomplish that goal.
Being said, I would like to close this with a quote. If you love what you do for a living, you never work a day in your life.
Thank you.
New council member Daniel Glaros, a veteran of county government, and trying to be seamless here, and someone who I've had a pleasure of working with for the last 4 years, and really has a deep understanding of the community, knows how to work with people, and really has a vision, very much a partner in economic development, some of the things we're trying to do in the College Park area, but all through this area. So it is now my pleasure to introduce to her first public event, potentially as a new council member, Danielle Glaros. Thank you.
So I'm a little nervous about this setup, so I'm going to leave my comments over there, and we'll see how we do. First of all, it's a true honor to be here. I remember when this building was opened 8 years ago, and the leadership of University of Maryland, thank you, because this has really grown into quite a remarkable place, and to see it transform over the last 8 years, and to see GapBusters and the work that they're doing, the amazing kids and the dreams of these young adults here who want to be our next aerospace engineers and our next business leaders. The work that LAYC has been doing, the nutrition program, the community garden that started as this small garden in the back and has now grown to both sides of the building, the playground that opened just a few months ago under the leadership of Parks and Recreation. It really truly has become a community center here in this community, which doesn't have a community center. So it has really helped anchor the community and help, I think, move this community forward. And I also really want to thank the entire TNI team, the county executive. I mean, the TNI initiative really has become the hallmark not only of this administration, but the hallmark of county government, and thinking about how we can strategically move forward our communities and make sure that we're making a difference in our communities. I don't have my magic wheel here like Aetna does. But I happen to have been working for the former county council member for this district. And so 8 years ago, I also remember that I was sitting in my office trying to figure out a motto for our office and for what we would endeavor to do. And we had just started working actually in this neighborhood. There was not a civic association here. In fact, it was a very tragic event that sort of brought together the community, and now it's a very strong community association that meets very regularly and has 30 or 40 people here. But the motto we coined was a motto called Together Strengthening Our Community. And it's the motto that we're continuing as we move forward, as I move forward as councilwoman. And I think it really speaks to what we see here in front of us today. That truly, we as government, we can definitely take the lead, we can set the vision, but we need all of you together to be our partners. We need Aetna as our partner at the table. We need the University of Maryland. We need our nonprofit community. We need our private folks from Proteus, Bicycle, who really helped anchor this. I mean, it is truly all of us that can help uplift our communities and move our communities forward. So thank you for having me today at my first press conference, and I look forward to working with you all over the next 4 years.
I think you did a great job introducing me. Welcome to the Baker administration. You never know what's going to happen next. First of all, you know, Councilwoman Galeras is going to do a great job. Can we give her another round of applause? Danielle's terrific. We're excited about having her as a councilwoman and bringing her knowledge and skill and judgment to not only help her district, but help shape Prince George's County. I mean, she's one of the leaders in smart growth. And it's interesting that this is, in case you didn't know, this is the first official event of the new Baker administration. So this is my first one, my first time too. And I certainly want to thank Aetna for being a partner of ours and for doing this. And if we can give them another round of applause, that would be great. And GapBusters, you know, you're terrific. You know, this is just great. One of the reasons I am dressed as I am, which is on purpose, is not because I didn't have time to go home. It's because I went running this morning, you know, and so I figured, you know, it was a good idea to come here and to bring the themes of what we're talking about today, and that is academics, health, and athletics, and exercising. You know, one of the things I said in the speech, inaugural address, was talking about closing the gaps in health disparity, and how do we get there? And some of the things that we're faced with in this county, like obesity, cardiovascular diseases. Those are the things that we're bringing together. And so we also talked about our Transforming Neighborhoods initiative and why it's so important. And the reason it's important is just because we're standing here today and what we're doing today. The idea around the Transforming Neighborhoods was that you would be able to have a leader such as David Iannucci, if we can give him a round of applause. That you would have someone who has to sit in a meeting with me every Monday at an executive meeting, who would be in charge in an area, but on his team would be every part of the government. Every single part of our government is on the team. And the reason is because we don't know what issues will come up. It may be healthcare, it may be public safety, it may be social services, family services, it may be somebody who wants to know how you apply for a job, but every part is on that team from the government. But the government can't do it alone. The next phase of why TNI is so important, what makes it move, is why we're here today. And that is the private sector and the nonprofit sector coming in and to fill that gap. And to come in with the universities in our education system, so that those 6 areas of Prince George's County, like we're in, start to elevate. And as they start to elevate, then the county elevates. David talked about public safety and in his T&I area. So crime is down in Prince George's County at an all-time low. But in our T&I areas, it's down lower. And in this T&I area, we saw the greatest reduction, not just in violent crimes, but crimes overall. Right here in this community is thanks to your work, so you deserve a round of applause. I would be remiss if I did not thank, a former colleague of ours who worked with us for helping us out and is always looking out for us, and that's teased him earlier, Kerry Watson. But certainly, thank you for your support and for bringing and making that connection, because that's what we need for here. So thank you. Give him a round of applause. So I'm going to close with this, that I'm excited. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing is getting on the bike. I haven't ridden a bike in a long time. You guys don't make fun of me, right? Yeah, you promise? Yeah. But I'm really excited about the fact that we are now kicking off the next 4 years right here and showing, quite honestly, and the councilwoman said it, the whole notion of T&I is not just this is an idea for Prince George's County. This is how government should work. This is the new wave of the way the government is going to be conducted throughout the United States, and that is to make it smaller. And the way you make it smaller is you put people of ultimate responsibility in an area, you bring all the services there, and the idea is you respond in a quick manner. And I'll close with this. And the reason it's so important in those T&I areas, if you think about it and you look at the T&I areas, they're the areas where government and people's perception of government has the hardest time. People start to believe that government doesn't respond to them. If we begin to have them believe that, you know what, other than just public safety, the other parts of government, David talked about the things they're doing in this neighborhood in terms of, not just trash collection, but also mattresses, I believe we talked about. I ran through this neighborhood with our police cadets so they could see firsthand what it's going to be like to patrol. Shoes being up on the top, sidewalks, lighting, things that go to quality of life, and that's really what bringing us together. And things like the program that we have here with GapBusters, with the University of Maryland, with Forklift, with POTUS, with the bikes, all of those go to improving the quality of life and making Prince George's County truly a place of destiny. Thank you.
We're a minute or two away from the check presentation, but we now have a representative of Community Forklift who is going to make our final comments before we do the ceremony. So please come forward.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Jackson, and I'm the Community Outreach Liaison at Community Forklift, and I'm very honored to be here. One of my former coworkers, Anthony, actually introduced me to GapBusters. He's working with Proteus Bikes and was part of the initiative to reopen the bike shop. And he was like, Tiff, we have to help out with this. We have to help out with the initiative to reopen this bike shop because it's in line with our mission, and we are here to lift up local communities, and it was such a pivotal staple in the Riverdale community. And I'm so glad that he came to me and we were able to help out in the way that we did. I've had the pleasure of meeting with Dr. Butler after we gave them a materials donation to get the necessary tools to reopen the bike shop, and she's doing some wonderful things in this community. And I want to thank her and every one of you community partners here who are doing wonderful things, excuse me, I'm a little nervous, who are doing wonderful things here. It's very important that we all band together and do whatever we can to make our communities better, because if we don't do it, nobody else will. And I will leave you with that. Thank you very much.